This is the Surly Grognards for January 30th, 2017. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
There's your answer.
Aha! Coming down with the cold. That sucks.
Yeah.
Le boo.
Beyond that, I'm doing all right.
Yeah. My nose is a little stuffy, but other than that, I'm fine, health-wise. We actually did get a show topic suggestion from our viewers this week.
Hooray!
We got this in the comments section on YouTube, and this is from Zent the First. He writes, or they write, I should say. I have no idea, Hey, Mecca, here's an idea for a possible episode. Your favorite characters you played in role-playing games, either one you made yourself or pre-made, I don't care. Why you enjoyed role-playing that character, and what you think that a character concept needs to make a truly great role-playing character, and general musing on great RPG characters. So great role-playing game characters. Our favorites that we played, and what we think makes great characters, and so on and so forth. This is going to be probably a somewhat Eric-centric show because
I play a lot more than Peter does. He tends to run.
I tend to run, so I can name NPCs, but they're not generally NPCs aren't quite as in-depth characters as player characters. Now I have played, and I do have some examples, but Eric's probably got more, and it probably has more to say on it than I do.
Some of my favorite characters I've played. There's Dr. Arcane from the Mutants and Masterminds game. He was a lot of fun. He was just this giant ball of innocent excitement about horrible cosmic terror, which in retrospect is hilarious. Also, he was wearing powered armor and was magic, so
there's just a lot about him that was interesting.
Yeah. And one of the thing, how do I put this? Dr. Arcane had enough time to really develop into a really interesting character.
Yep.
Like I started with this fistful of character traits, and they all sort of ended up gelling together into someone really neat that I had a lot of fun with.
Right.
I bought Fearless more because I thought it would be funny than anything else in building the character. It was a superhero game. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being an integral part of his character. Giant Cthulhuid monstrosity shows up. It's oh, neat, I haven't seen one of those yet. Try not to kill it. I want to study.
Yeah, I remember that from the most notable one for me, moment of that sort of thing was when you guys were down in Atlantis and were being attacked by the Kaiju.
Yes. Try not to kill them. They might be unique.
Meanwhile, the lobster one is crushing Word's power armor characters with power armor.
Yes.
Sophia's not sure we're gonna have that option.
Don't hurt them.
I kind of need this art. I kind of need my armor to live.
It's okay. I can make you new armor. Be better and magic.
Oh, that would have flown, Sophia.
Yes. And yeah, the Doctor was probably the most unabashedly good character I've ever played.
Yeah, from my experience with gaming with you, it's basically him and Zarkov the two.
Who was another fun character, but mainly because he was a giant ball of bombast.
Yeah.
And was probably the most childlike character I ever played, Zarkov.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Dr. Arcane, while naive, was very definitively an adult person. Was a fully formed adult.
Yes.
He was an academic, really.
He was very much an ivory tower, not fully comprehending the horrible implications of what's going on, being really interested in it nonetheless.
Right.
Understanding bad things are happening on an intellectual level, but it not clicking on an emotional level.
Right.
Well, Zarkov is basically like a 5-year-old in a professional wrestler's body.
Yeah.
Which was another character that like I went in with like a fistful of character traits, like super like super bombastic, um generally a good person, like giant, like capital G good,
Right.
um and kind of dumb. That just came together as this really like big-hearted, very loud 5-year-old that punched things to death.
That punched the bad guys to death, yes.
Yes.
I have 2 fists.
Yes. That would have been, yeah, that would have been a good death. But it was no, but it didn't happen, thankfully. But yeah, those are two like those are the big ones that like that you can find on the internet because Peter streamed them and put them on the internet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. For me, I guess I have 2 that I've played that none of the ones I've played have been online. So because
Right.
in general, like I really enjoyed the during very aborted game I played. I enjoyed playing my sword mage I was playing in a game a while back with Rolity and Nick and those guys. But that game didn't go very far, and so I didn't really get to fully flesh that character out. But the 2 that sort of leaped to mind for me, you've been in what you were in one of the games with one of them, and I used sort of a variant on the other one as an NPC in the Star City game.
Okay.
The one in the game you played in was Nalem, the Star Wars
Yep.
character. And
Yeah, Neelam was pretty cool.
Nalem was. I went into that. I didn't have a lot of ideas for what his personality was beyond a few certain important points. He was a smuggler. Hated the Empire for lots of different reasons. The Star Wars game.
Right.
You know, he had a couple of things he generally didn't. One thing he never would smuggle and one he avoided. You know, human car. You know, quote human. You know, sentient cargo, as you know, as it were. Slavery was one of his big no's, and he wasn't particularly fond of smuggling illicit drugs for various reasons. Which I never really.
In fact, I remember Ken Arako several times was like, "But we have all these drugs. We can make chairs out of drugs. We can just sell them."
Yeah, we managed to appropriate a large cargo of spice because the bad guys had it.
It's a Star Wars game, and we're not Jedi.
Right. And I was like, no, we're not going to go deliver this somewhere and sell it. We're going to get rid of it. This stuff is bad. There's almost nothing good. There's basically nothing good about this stuff, other than you can make money on it.
Out of it.
You can make a chair out of a lot of things, Ken Rocco.
Yes, but none of them were as hilarious. Ken Rocco's another fun character, honestly.
But you know, Nalem ended up developing into a much more complicated character over time. You know, sort of he was, you know, on the surface all about the money, but it was more of a way of keeping score.
Right.
Sort of, you know, and you know he was, you know, on the surface very grumpy and irascible and didn't seem to like people, but he, you know, he was very loyal to his crew despite the fact that he complained about them incessantly.
Well, of course, you're the captain. You have to complain about the crew.
Well, there's that, but also, you know, he was something of a, you know, as fast talking con artist at heart.
Right.
And the other big thing is he really did not like. He tried to avoid fights if at all possible. Despite that, he was probably the best shot in the group.
Yes.
It's either him or DY.
I think DY was probably a better shot, but that's what you get when half your head is a targeting computer.
Yeah, fair point. But yeah, and there was a lot of, you know, it ended up having a lot of weird little hang-ups and bugaboos, and it ended up being a much more interesting character than I expected him to be going in. Uh,
Well, that's one of the things about characters in general I've found is that like the more time they have to develop into characters, generally the better they are.
yeah, oh, absolutely. That's sort
Um,
of a given, really. I think.
yeah, like I've had a couple characters that just did not gel for me.
Right.
Um, and they're largely like in the dustbin of my brain, and I need to go rooting around in there. I don't want
Mm.
to because there's gooey things there. Um, and like they just like they would never click. And sometimes like uh, one example is in the current Shadowrun game. I'm playing a an orc physical adept who is a monster hunter. That's his job. And he wasn't clicking for me for the longest time until recently, where he started to develop into a more interesting character. In that, like, I realized that he's a detective with no social skills.
Ah.
He's really, really bad interacting with other people. Interacting with other people, except and but he's also a detective and he hunts monsters. So I ended up playing him much more like a grumpy Columbo
Nice. Okay, I can see that.
who stabs things. So
Nice.
he's started to come together, but he's definitely not one of my favorites. It's more that I just found a lens to view him in that works better than what I was originally going with.
Right. All right.
And
Well,
that yeah, that's part of it. Is just you need to find a way to look at the character that clicks for you.
right. Yeah.
Um, like other fun characters I've played. There was the old MechWarrior game, Finbar McDougal.
Oh,
He
right.
was fun. Finbar was actually really interesting in that he sort of ended up falling into the leadership position for the group and was actually good at it.
Right.
He was just this giant Scotsman in an assault mech who was very proud of his family heritage and had no time for the niceties of like polishing boots or making sure like people's like pips are on straight or anything. There were more important things to do, like step on clanners with your giant robot.
Right. Oh boy. I don't know. Yeah. I remember enjoying Finn. He was a fun one to have in the game when
Yeah.
I was running that one. Um. Hmm. Well, the other one I was talking about was Gabriel. The was in a Champions game I was playing in.
Yes. Yes. You've talked about him before. He sounds cool.
Gabe was, so I the concept for Gabe basically I decided I wanted to build a superhero who had powers and such, but his sort of big sort of advantage over most people was experience and skill.
Mm.
So that was the sort of conceit going in. So I ended up building him. So Gabe's only natural sort of superpowers they weren't particularly legion. His physical stats were really high. He was
Right.
sort of low level sort of superhuman in like all his physical stats. So he was basically right at sort of human peak in most of his physical stats. Uh, sort of quasi sort of Captain America level sort of physical abilities. He wasn't quite that agile,
Right.
but he was very agile, very very strong for a person, just not like brick level strength. Um, uh, Tough, and he had a very good speed stat, speed 5, and was fairly tough. But he also had that was one of his. He had basically three actual powers that were native to him. There was that. He aged very slowly. He
Hmm.
had longevity. He basically so he was like 60 and looked 30.
Right.
Um, and he was late. Actually, he was older than that. He was like late 60s, early 70s, and looked like mid 30s. And he had wings, so he could fly.
Well, of course he had wings. He's named Gabriel. He has to have wings in a superhero game if you're named Gabriel.
Well, and that was I had so yeah, and so he had and basically his backstory was that when he his original plan was he was going to be a cop, um, and then when he when he hit puberty, he grew wings.
Right.
And in this particular campaign world, that was the police didn't accept metahumans,
Right.
For various reasons. If I remember, at least at the time, this was again he was like 18, and it was he was hit 15 or so, and this was so he would been like it would have been like the 60s. But then he received a bequest. He basically, he received a bequest from some long lost relative, apparently, for him, which was this suit of magical armor and a magical sword that basically had a blade of light.
Okay. Yeah. So
and the armor was designed for someone who had wings. So
this isn't suspicious in any way, shape, or form.
Right, and we never got into that in that campaign, but it was the GM had plans for go somewhere with that. So he became a superhero, and was a superhero for quite some time, and was a fairly popular one. And then before the campaign started, he retired because he was at this point he was old. He was like 60 or so, and the world had changed, and it was sort of the world had moved into sort of in terms of comic book terms, had moved into sort of a more Iron Agey thing, and he was very much a Silver Age hero.
Right.
And so he basically decided, well, okay, time's passed me by. I'm clearly not cut. I've gotten old. I must be slowing down, and all this stuff. And so he retired, and left left the team he'd been running in the hands of his one of his mentees, because he'd been sort of a mentor to a group of younger heroes. All of whom had a much more sort of Iron Agey ethos, and he wasn't really comfortable with that. But he did trust them to to do the right thing in general. It's just they had different methodologies. So he retired, and at the beginning of the campaign, basically the city we were in didn't have a very big superhero population. And the big sort of driving thing about Gabe is that he's at heart a hero, and wants to protect people.
Wants to do the good thing and fight the good fight and all that.
And basically he's just like, I can't, the people here in the city need somebody. And there aren't a lot of heroes here. I got to do something. So he basically came out of retirement. But and so one of the big things about Gabe was, like the way I built the character, is he had something of a bit of a negative reputation as being a somewhat washed up hero, because he's old. He's been around forever.
Right.
Everyone assumed that, and like him, everyone basically assumed time had passed him by. He's not the hero he used to be. And that's when sort of in character, he started discovering that I'm maybe 70, but
still kick more ass than you whippersnapper.
But he wasn't really sort of that grumpy. Didn't even have that sort of grumpy element to him. It was like he's just like he was actually finding that because he didn't stop training or anything like that, because that was just sort of something he did to keep himself in shape.
Right.
And he found that maybe he was slightly slower than he was when he was at his prime, maybe. But dear God, he had a serious, skill advantage over basically everybody else he went up against.
Yeah, Gabe sounds like an interesting character. I'm kind of reminded of Grog, who's a character that isn't in my favorites, mainly because I didn't get a chance to play him much.
Right.
Grog was my troll from the aborted Champions game, and he was. Yeah, I went into the idea with the reluctant hero. Like, I have to be a good guy even though I want to be a villain.
Right.
And to really get to play that up as much as I would have liked. And the fact that mechanically he was just a ton of fun. like there is something very special picking up a guy and then hitting his friend with him.
But no, the important thing about Gabe, the reason that Gabe was such a fun character to play, and I really enjoyed him, was because of that sort of contrast between his ethos and sort of the way most of the rest of the world worked.
Right.
Because he is very much a classic good guy superhero. Doesn't kill, and trusts and respects the police, and wants goes out of his way to protect the innocent.
Yeah, he's sort of like a mirror image of Rourke, who's very much an Iron Age villain, stuck with a acting out, pantomiming a Silver Age ethos.
Right.
And yeah, I just thought that was a funny dichotomy, and I never got a chance to develop it properly.
Right. No, whereas I got to actually play with that, and
yes,
the really fun thing about that campaign, watching it, was what is the game actually did a really good job with this, is the slow and growing sort of rise of everybody in the city we were in. I forget the name of the city.
We'll call it Bananatopia.
Sort of the slow, like, earning the respect of like the city as a whole, like the entire group of the entire party. Most of us, we all the characters, like all of the players, we all sort of are sort of prefer more sort of somewhat Silver Agey characters. And we had this sort of contrast with a lot of the villains, and like, so we're going up with very Iron Agey sort of villains, and we're going up against them with this sort of Silver Age ethos, where we're like, yeah, no, we're not going to compromise our morals to stop these guys in the way that an Iron Age hero would.
Right.
So it's like, yes, we will let them go if it means we're going to save a whole bunch of people. I mean, that happened. We were fighting villains. They set up a dirty nuke in the basement of the building we were in. I was confronting the guy doing it, and he basically said, okay, if you promise to let me go, I'll give you the disarming code. I'm like, okay, sure. And I said without even waiting, like hesitating, like, yeah, fine, no problem. Give me the code, I'll let you go. I promise I will not try to stop you. Now, mind you, I was being, I was in open comms with the rest of the team, so they knew what I was doing.
It's like, great, we know where to get this guy now.
But he did manage to get away, and the cops were mildly irritated about that until I pointed out, yeah, dirty nuclear device. I got the codes to disarm it. And they're like, oh, all right, yeah, we can appreciate that. Right, that was the right move. Also, the fact that we utterly flatly refused to step on the cops' toes in the areas that the cops are supposed to be doing their job.
Right.
It's like, no, you. Oh, wait, you guys. There's a crime scene here. No, we're not going to get in your way. You guys are the ones with the forensic skills.
I remember something similar happening with Dr. Arcane during the big gang war that Gav accidentally started. Where the doctor comes across the cops in a gunfight with some mafia guys. It's like, are you guys okay? Do you need some help? Well, we're not bulletproof. Oh, I am.
Right.
Oh, of course they're not bulletproof. Why didn't that occur to me?
And that was Gabe's and most of the group's point was like, yeah, what we're good at is smashing supervillains.
Right.
And we're good at figuring out where to go and such, but this is really your guys' forte and also your job. I mean, we don't want to get we really respect what you guys do.
Yeah, you guys are down in the trenches doing the tough shit, and we handle the guys in spandex with silly masks. That's what we do.
We thwart alien invasions and shit, So yeah, I mean, I really liked that. Was one of the things I liked, and there was a moment where we were fighting some bad guys. I think I've mentioned the 90-foot ninjas on stream before.
Yes,
the podcast.
Yes, the 90-foot ninjas.
We were fighting them, and we actually, one of the things that happened in that was we had we had some NPC heroes there, which were actually one of whom was the guy who took over the team I used to be a part of,
Right.
who actually had a big sort of I actually sort of taken him as a disadvantage as a hunted sort of quasi hunted
Right.
because he basically wanted he was sort of driving to prove that he was better than I was because despite the fact that I was washed up and over the hill, I was still just general. Like Gabe was still more popular than this guy was because
Well, you're kind of like custom made to be popular. You're a giant winged, semi-divine hero running around doing goodly good things.
Yeah, and honestly, that was one of the things that actually always bothered Gabe. Is people sort of like thinking he was angelic. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm just a guy.
I'm just a dude with wings, with a glowing sword.
Yeah, and as a good Catholic, this really bugged him. He's like, I'm not an angel. Please stop saying that. That's blasphemous for crying out loud.
I'm just a dude. I make mistakes. Stop it.
But yeah, but they we showed up and got in this fight, and there's a skill in champions called teamwork, and I basically said, I was like, okay. We got in this fight. That was I don't know if the teamwork thing wasn't during the fight with the 90-foot ninja. It was with some other supervillains. And I'm like, okay, wow, I need to set this dude up. It's like, so I basically sort of said, okay, I'm gonna make the teamwork roll to do sort of teamwork maneuver with him.
Right.
And Tox is like, oh god. Tox is the guy we both know who was running the game. And so I made my teamwork roll, and he's like, yeah, and he makes his, and you do the distraction. So he gets a bonus on his follow-up roll. He basically sort of this sort of instinctual sort of like, all right, Gabe gave me the signal. He's moving there to distract him, so I can nail him here. And wham! And for fuck's sake, I fell into the same pattern. I'm following Gabe's lead again. God damn it! But it was the right move. God damn it!
Son of a bitch. I'm supposed to be in charge. I'm the boss now.
Gabe's over the hill. He's washed up. Why is he? Sort of. It's like he's come out of retirement. People are sort of quasi mocking that. Except now that people are slowly growing to say, oh wait, maybe he's not washed up. Maybe he's actually as good as he ever was. Possibly even better.
There's another Shadowrun character that I really liked playing, who was a troll dog shaman named Boxwell.
Mm-hmm.
Boxwell was paranoid to the point of insanity, and not without good reason. Like he spent too much time on the internet looking at conspiracy theories. He was a survivor of Bug City, which in the Shadowrun world, basically, Chicago gets overrun by insect spirits that possess people's bodies and turn them into horrible Cronenbergian nightmares.
Okay.
So he survived that. So he's got this giant fear of insects, bugs in general, and he was a complete conspiracy nut. And we thought, me and the game master decided that it would be a funny joke if he secretly decided 50% of the insane things I would spout out of my mouth were actually true.
Oh God. Oh
and because Chris is funny that way.
Yeah.
The thing is, I wouldn't know which ones were true, so I just played like, of course it's real. Of course Seattle's mayor is, in fact, a friggin' leprechaun. I mean, why wouldn't he be a leprechaun? He's got pointy ears. You know what that means? He's not an elf. He wants you to think he's an elf, but he's a leprechaun. He was a leprechaun.
Nice.
And just like zany stuff like that, like of course no one's allowed inside the Morocco ecology. It's not because they're all working on something secret in there. It's because there's an emergent AI in there. It's turned everyone into zombies. this is actually, I wasn't aware of it at the time, actual Shadowrun canon.
Wow. Well done, Eric.
And this weird rivalry ended up between my friend Matt's character, who was an executive in a small arms manufacturer with a giant adrenaline junkie, who his character basically got off on doing shadow runs and playing kingmaker for the gangs in the neighborhood. And Boxwell just wanted the neighborhood to be quiet so he could ward everything to keep the bugs out. So this weird rivalry ended up with us both manipulating like different members of the same gang, or like and in control of other gangs, and getting really pissed off when other gangs would bust in on our turf and try to take it.
Oh wow!
And just some of the funny little quirks, like Boxwell would never get rid of a material component if he got it. There is one point where he walks into a bar to basically deliver a message to the leader of this elf gang who's been encroaching on his neighborhood. It's like, I need to talk to so-and-so of this gang. Well, why should we do that? Well, how about I buy a drink and then you tell me? Fine, buy a drink and maybe I'll tell you. So I'm like, okay, so I get the drink, so you have to pay for that. Oh, right. So I start rummaging through my pockets, putting things down. It's like rubber ducky, roll of duct tape, fistful of fingernails, a severed hand. I forgot I had this. So his pockets are always stuffed with like random, and he looked like a street person. He totally looked like your crazy bum that's shouting on the street, because half the time he was. But he also weirdly ended up being the moral center of that group. So, like there were things that he just wouldn't do. Like, we need to kill this guy. Okay, we should do that by blowing up his house. He's got a family. Yes, but blowing up his house is the easiest thing to do. He's got kids. I'm not going to blow up kids. I got another solution. We had someone who really liked explosives.
Boom.
So yeah, Boxwell was lots of fun. And again, part of the reason why Boxwell was lots of fun is because I had a lot of... That game lasted like 2 years. I had a lot of time to develop that character.
Right.
And the different like interactions and rivalries between the other members of the team. So
yeah, I mean that's So I was sort of thinking about it. It's sort of a common thread in general. Among a lot of great characters I found in RPGs is if it takes time to actually develop the character's personality, and not just like the personality, but like their relationships to the other characters.
Yes.
And that's really crucial because you can plan ahead for some of that stuff, but the way they develop organically during play is largely what ends up forming the real sort of what makes the character great, in my experience. I mean, not always. I mean, there are always like characters who are a lot of fun and great from the outset because you've come up with a really good really good hook for the character, and
yes,
they've come out well designed to play from the outset. But I mean, that's never happened for me really. Like I've had characters who were fun mechanically to play from the outset, but it would usually take me at least 4 or 5 sessions to really get a hang of how to play them as a character.
Yeah, that's generally how I operate. It usually takes me 2 to 3 sessions to get a feel for the character, and to make them click properly. Although some of them are fun right off the bat. Zarkov was fun right off the bat simply because I got to be exactly as stupid as I decided I wanted to be, and I got to be loud about it.
Yeah, In the Iron Kingdoms game you ran, Eric, my
Mm.
character, Cyril Smith,
Smythe.
yeah, Cyril Smythe. Uh, Cyril was, I mean, Smythe is what everyone referred to him as because,
Right.
but like, I really had no real, I mean, he was an alchemist bounty hunter, so I mean, that informs a lot of what he is from the outset. Because, he's a bounty hunter, but he's also a scientist.
Mm.
So, that informs a lot of sort of the way he thinks from the get-go. But, like, it took me several sessions to really sort of fully develop the way his sort of how he operated. And part of that was because I had to adjust part of some of my plans to make it so that he actually, like, the way he operated made sense in the context of the group.
Right. Well, that happens with every character. Like,
Right.
I've never had a character I haven't had to tweak so that they work within the group.
Um, and and he was a lot of fun to play. He had some issues with some of the other party members.
Just a few. Rensick was a bit of a problem. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Like, it's like, okay, yeah.
I was honestly waiting for you to just poison him to death.
I came close.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to poison him to death, Eric, please. I can't collect on the bounty that's on his head that way.
It's true.
No. I poison him in consciousness, tie him up, and deliver him to deliver him to a crime lord to say, "Hey, look, you guys want his head, right? Yeah, pay me and he's yours. Do what you want with him." I seriously considered doing that at one point.
Weirdly, I think Leland might have been okay with it because he was really playing Rensick as a complete and utter irredeemable cock.
Yeah. No, it was literally the bit where he started fucking with my alchemy sets and like breaking my bottles and shit. I'm like, okay, I can't take him in an actual fight because I can't take him in an actual fight.
Yeah, he was the murder gobbler for a reason.
There wasn't anyone in that group that Smith could take in a fight, honestly. Like in a straight up fight, fuck no.
Right, that's true. That was a pretty beady group. You're also the brains of the outfit. Like, they would not have been nearly as good at anything that they did without you.
I set everybody else up.
Yes.
But that wasn't.
I'm going to be honest. In that group, I think that group was as dangerous as they were in close combat for two reasons. One, everyone knew how to play together and work together tactically. And three, Smythe was the fucking linchpin.
Oh God, I was fully aware of that. I don't think they would have worked nearly as well if I hadn't been there. They would not have worked nearly as well if I had not been there.
Yeah.
But, as I said, any one of them, if they decided they wanted to get rid of me, there was not much I could do about it. Unless I was proactive.
Right.
Because again, I was smart. The character was smarter than everybody else also. Unsurprisingly, he's an intellectual archetype.
Right.
That was sort of the whole point. But yeah, it was literally, okay, yep, knock out stuff into the gobber's one of his many flasks of alcohol. Actually, do you remember that bit after the after that bit where I actually I actually had a little chat with Leland about the out of character about the problems that Smith was having with him?
Yes.
You remember when I actually gave him like my flask of whatever it was? I forget whatever it was, like brandy or something like that.
Yeah.
That was step one of the test of seeing if I could actually how easy it would be to poison him.
Poison him.
Yeah. I was literally, okay, yeah, here, Rensick, have some brandy. Just leave me alone, man. It's like, oh, okay, drink. I'm like, really? He just took an unlabeled flask from an alchemist. Oh my God, he's an idiot. He's dumber than I thought he was. He took it unlabeled.
Was not smart.
took an unlabeled flask from an alchemist he's been screwing with.
Yeah, he Renzik was never smart.
No. I'm like, okay, mental note. If he keeps giving me problems, then I know how to deal with him. But yeah, Smith was an interesting character, but not one of my favorites. I liked playing him in like when it again, it was he's one of the characters I actually enjoyed playing mechanically, but
Right.
he didn't have like while I had an angle on him and all that stuff, he just never really
He never clicked.
never fully
And
clicked.
I have plenty of characters like that. Like Long Fang I loved conceptually, but I had a long time trying to get a really hard time getting him to click for me.
Yeah.
Just because it was my first time ever playing a sad sack, and I was sort of like, how do I make this click? How do I do this?
Long Fang was interesting. He's not my favorite of your feng shui characters that you've played.
No.
No, that is easily what's his name? Marcus from the first
Yes.
game I read.
Oh wow, I almost forgot about Marcus. Marcus is a ton of fun. Marcus Wilder was the first feng shui character I ever played. And he was a reporter for like Weekly World News level of tabloid. And except everything he reported was real.
Right, because he kept running into like the fringes of the secret war.
Yes. Which is his dramatic hook. Like, I know about the secret war and all the weirdness entailed.
But nobody fucking believes me.
Yes.
Because and the only people I could sell my stories to are the fucking tabloids, and no one believes them either.
Right. And he was basically Hunter S. Thompson by way of Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Yep. Actually, my favorite thing about that, Eric, is I don't think I ever mentioned this, but there were elements. There were people who were involved in the Secret War who actually tracked your stories, used your stories as ways to keep tabs on the other factions.
You see, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
It never came up. It would have eventually, but
it makes perfect sense.
it was one of the ways some elements of the Ascended, the Lodge actually kept track of the jammers. So okay, let's look at the star. Oh, here's Wilder's story. Ah, okay. Wilder's got a story, and yep, okay, that's the jammers right there. Good to know.
There are some great character interactions in there too, like Roach's waiter. Like, everywhere you go, Marcus explodes.
Marcus, everywhere you go explodes. But okay.
I can't argue that. He's right. Everywhere I go explodes. It's not my fault.
No, a small part of that was the thief.
Yeah. Who really did like to make things explode.
She was good at it.
Yeah.
No, that was actually a really interesting party, honestly.
Yeah. Because there was the thief, the martial artist waiter, my reporter,
and the Everyman hero.
Yep, the Everyman hero. Was there anyone else?
That was the party.
That was the party. Okay.
We had two other people who were actually played briefly, but couldn't actually
right,
make it every week.
Didn't stick around, right? Because there was there's Jay's ex Special Forces and
Dan's assassin. Who unfortunately then could stick around, but
yeah,
which is fine. It happens. But we had that night. We had a good core group, and they all had interesting interactions with each other.
Yes.
Have you seen my girlfriend? You know it would help if you had a photo of her.
Oh.
I do, actually.
Yeah, Tor's Everyman hero was hilarious. Have you seen my girlfriend? Who's your girlfriend? Her name is... I don't even remember her name.
I don't even.
Okay, what does she look like? Well, she's about, this tall. She's got brown hair, about average build. You're in Hong Kong.
She's a Westerner like me. Okay, that helps a little bit.
But that's that was kind of the funny thing about Tora's character is it would give the most blasé, like generic description of his girlfriend.
Right.
But
that was an amusing game. But yeah, no, Marcus was really interesting. The way he played off the other characters. Just because they like the only one who wasn't like Tora's Everyman Hero was probably the one who was least exasperated by Marcus.
Yes. Oh, but they couldn't get rid of him because he was right.
Yep. Well, I mean, the thing was, is like, Roach's character very much wanted just to be left, very much wanted things to just be normal.
Why am I being chased by cybernetic hopping vampires?
Ah! Ah! Boing, 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 boing. Ah!
You stop running and punch them! Blam, blam, blam.
Ah! So your sort of general weirdness magnitude, your weirdness magnet really was a problem for him. And in Hannah's character, your lack of professionalism was probably the biggest problem.
I was very professional in my field.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, he was such a Hunter S. Thompson character.
Yes, he was.
He did drugs, he drank too much, he carried a giant fuck-off hand cannon, he rambled incoherently half the time. Looking back on it, I really was playing Raoul Duke from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So there it was. Whoa, there I am.
Oh my God. So, I guess so we've talked a bit about a bunch of the characters, our favorite characters. But but beyond the sort of the need for time to develop the characters, I do want to sort of say, what do you think actually are sort of the important things that you need to make a great and memorable character?
Honestly, you need like a fistful of character traits. I mean, just 2 or 3 is all you really need. Like loud, dumb, nice guy. That was what I started off with for Zarkov.
Right.
Arcanobabble, really nice, naive. That was Dr. Arcane. That's why I started off with him. Let me see here. Who else? Like, Vorkos is professional, cool. I don't mean like hot topic cool or whatever the kids think these days. Get off my lawn. But I mean like cool emotionally. And outwardly shallow but deeper than he looks. Also, I decided he's religious.
Right.
And yeah, it's just you need a fistful of character traits that sort of like and just make them click together somehow. And sometimes it doesn't always work. But that's what you should start off with. Like, what is your character concept? Like, what am I going to play? I am going to play a perpetually angry space troll who really likes cupcakes. And bang, you've got a character. He's always upset. He's a giant space monster, and he really, really likes cupcakes. Like the only thing that makes him happy.
Right. I mean, I agree with you for the most part. There are a couple of things that there are a few things like for a character really sort of click. It's got to be something you actually do enjoy, and The thing is
Yeah,
that I do think that a lot of players do pigeonhole themselves a little bit too much, and don't branch out often enough into trying other things, and the other things might not work for them.
sure. And being willing to try new stuff and see if it works for you is part of the fun. Like Dr. Arcane is so against the grain for me. Like
Right.
he is not in any way, shape, or form a scumbag or physically adept.
Right.
And I'm almost always play at least morally gray and physically imposing characters.
Right.
Because that's fun.
Right. But I mean, the thing is that even when the character, when a character that you're experimenting with doesn't work, you can at least learn something from that to apply.
Yes,
to
and you can there might be aspects that you can that did work that you incorporate in future characters,
right.
Or at the very least, you know what to fucking avoid.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, so that was just sort of one little. So and that was sort of sparked by what you did with Doctor Arcane. Is that was a reach for you in some ways?
Yes, no, he was very much yeah, he was definitely a reach for me, and part of it was I was playing with a new group, and I really did not want to play my usual like scumbags. Maybe he's a cannibal. Because I didn't want to turn off a bunch of people I had just met for this game.
Right. Also, it was a superhero game, so
yeah, it's a superhero game. You're not going to have too many like Grog. The character concept for Grog I've had for years, and I almost played him the Mutants Masterminds game, and I was like, no, I'm going to do the Space Wizard, or the Power Armored Wizard. That had also been percolating, and save the troll for another time. Because I don't know these people, and the troll's going to be a jerk.
Right. Yeah, so I was just sort of trying to think of the sort of I tend to I don't think I tend to quite as like what you're describing with the picking a few personality traits as your sort of core for the character when you make them. I do that more often with the NPCs I run as a game master, because well, that's sort of what you have to do,
Right.
and you really can't devote much more than that to an NPC. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to be like really significant recurring characters that are going to come back all the fucking time.
And don't be afraid to start off with a character from a movie or TV show or book that you like.
Oh God, no, absolutely, absolutely.
Like,
I mean,
I was playing Lester from friggin' Red Dwarf in a Star Wars game once.
partially, yeah. I mean, part of the.
I mean, he was a Wookiee, but
well, I mean, like Nalem was. I mean, I didn't. It was one of those characters I didn't realize how much I was channeling Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly with him.
Yeah, we had Lester and freaking Malcolm Reynolds in the same Star Wars game.
So he was a large part of his sort of attitude towards the crew was really driven by the way Mal operated,
right?
And alternating between this is my crew that I will do everything for them, and oh God, these idiots.
Not undeserved in our case.
Yeah. But there were also elements of other characters in him. Honestly, he was the con artist half of him was really heavily influenced by a character from a British show called Hustle. He was very much. He was sort of. There was definitely an element of Mickey Bricks in him.
Yes.
He's again, you sort of a leader type who would do anything for his crew. But he's like Nalem was all about planning out things ahead of time if he can. It's just that you people wouldn't let me get away with that most of the time because you go off and do stuff. It's okay. I've got these ideas. What the fuck is Kenrako doing?
Well, it looked like it wanted to explode, so I made it explode.
Or DY and Jack would go off and go do something.
To go on adventures, yes.
It's like, but
the Jedi and the assassin droid going off on random side adventures.
I think my favorite was still the bit where we were after we did we conned the mob boss with a fake statue a while back. I forgot what we did with the original statue. I think we sold it.
I think we sold it. Not really being aware of what it was we had, but we figured we could sell it twice, so why not?
Yeah. Well, that was a nail in plan. It's like,
yeah.
no, it's like, no. I'm going to make a forged copy of this because I'm good at that sort of shit. We'll sell the forged copy of the mob boss, and we'll sell the original back to someone else. We'll sell the same thing multiple times. Hell, if I had time, I'd make like 5 copies of the statue. Take like silent bids. I'd pull a Mona Lisa variant on the damn thing. I mean, come on. But yeah, so if I remember correctly, we were hired to steal that statue, and then by the mob boss, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is why I thought, wait, I can make a copy of it. At any rate, the mob boss did not take kindly to this. Apparently, he figured out it was a forgery at some point.
Probably because he had another buyer lined up who was like, "This isn't the real thing. What the fuck are you trying to pull here?"
I forget what we never found out why specifically he was after us at that point. But we had a bounty on our heads, and a bounty hunter showed up, and the party started disappearing in ones and twos. So if I remember correctly, you and Natu.
Yep.
Had knockout gas grenades dropped on you in an alleyway somewhere.
Yeah.
And so you guys were kidnapped, and then I'm like, they haven't checked in. What the hell happened to them? At which point, Jack and DY decided, we'll just go find them. Poof, they go off. But wait, we should. Okay, that leaves me and the party NPC scrappy kid type on the ship. Right. I am not setting foot off the ship. I'll keep in contact with those. I'll keep in occasional contact with those two. And okay, they've apparently stormed the ship. It was the wrong ship. It turned out the first time. Which was fucking.
We really were a bunch of bungling idiots in that game.
And then they found the second one, and the gas grenade dropped. DY was like, gas grenade. Stomped up to the cockpit and got hit by an EMP grenade.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, apparently the entire party's been captured, except me. All right. I have 2 options.
Fuck them or save them.
And honestly, I've got a vault full of cash on the ship. A very fast ship, and I'm one of the best astrogators out there. If I decide to disappear, there's no fucking way the bounty hunters are going to find me. But they're my fucking crew. God damn it. Alright, I figured out what ship they're on. Step 1, alright. Kid, go take these thermal detonators and sneak around the bottom of the bounty hunter ship and plant them in the landing gear. I don't think they're thermal detonators; they're explosives. But
yeah, I don't think they're thermal detonators, but they're grenades.
They were grenades, yeah. Step 2, I take off. At which point, you guys all were like, "Wait, what?
Wait, what?"
I'm like, "Relax.
Got it covered. Don't worry. I have an angle."
So yeah, I ended up basically hovering our ship over the bounty hunter ship and pointing the dorsal guns at her cockpit. I'm like, "Hi, you seem to have kidnapped my crew."
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember. That was the time where you had figured out, like, Kenrako's metabolism or somehow, that we should be starting to wake up from the knockout gas.
I figured someone was waking up from the knockout gas, and I was
Right.
hoping it was going to be you, because, you had the highest constitution.
Because I was a fucking Wookiee.
Like, Okay. So Kenrako's waking up, hopefully. I'm just going to keep talking at the bounty hunter until Kenrako can get to her. I'm going
Yeah,
to use
I
my
will
single
stall
most
for
dangerous
time.
weapon, my tongue. I'm going to keep talking.
I will stall for time. Luckily, I'm very talkative and very good at keeping people engaged. I have a high charisma.
I have a high charisma, a very high fast talk skill, or whatever the skill was in Star Wars
Yeah, I
20.
think it was actually fast talk.
Yeah. Nalin was very, very. There were a lot of things. Well, Nalin was a scoundrel, which is the thief equivalent for D20 Star Wars.
Right.
So, and had a very high intelligence. And Nalin had very good intelligence, dexterity, and charisma.
Yep.
Shocking, really.
Kind of sucked at everything else.
His con was okay. His strength con and his wisdom was okay. His strength and constitution were mediocre.
Right.
I think his wisdom was like 12, his strength was 10, and his con was 10 or something like that. Just everything else was really good. And so yeah, basically I just kept talking at the bounty hunter or the gobs until you poked your head around the corner. I'm like, okay, great, beautiful.
Wave!
Well, I mean, first off, I tried to buy her off. I mean, that was my first plan.
Right. Which was the obvious thing to do.
It's okay, so, all right. Last I checked, so, what is the bounty you are actually after? She lists the number. I'm like, huh, higher than I expected. All right, fine. Yes, it is double on your head in particular. Whatever, fine. Look, I'll pay you double the bounties just to let us go. Can't do that. Professional pride. I kind of figured. Yeah, well, all right. See, the problem is that we're kind of an impasse here because I could probably, worst case, I could run. She actually pointed out that I probably could have run. And I'm like, yeah, I probably could run, but this is my crew, and that's kind of important. Also,
be a dick move, and bad for my rep.
And also, but you see, the thing is, they're my crew. I do, despite that I may not like them, I trust them and I know them. And see, the thing is, I know Kenrako, and he's probably woken up from your stupid gas grenades about now, and is very likely coming around the corner just to say hello. What?
Hello. Whap! Bounce her head off the console.
If I remember correctly, you actually started strangling her.
I think so. Yes.
That's right. You were unconscious and like manacled, but she'd left everyone unconscious in the same room, including Jack. So you actually grabbed one of his lightsabers to cut the manacles off.
Right. She didn't think to disarm the Jedi, which was dumb.
She made mistakes, and I think that was intentional on Chris's part.
Absolutely. No. Clearly, it was intentional on Chris's part. He was doing the whole what's the word I'm looking for? It was doing the whole is what you do basically. Does this make sense? Is this a smart way for them to get out of it? Yeah, sure.
Here's a puzzle for you guys. I have no idea what the solution is.
Yes.
Oh my god. So yeah. All right. So but yeah, Nalem is one of my favorites just because again it was no small part of it is the fact that he had time to develop. Because I really didn't have a plan for him initially. Beyond, okay, he's a smuggler and a bit of a con artist. He's a smuggler and a con artist. All right, that is a good starting point. Also, he hates the Empire and hates slavery. Done.
Well, all right then.
Those 4 things are what I started with. But yeah, literally taking a few sort of nuggets of a character and starting with that and then not being afraid to let things develop and change as the game progresses is, I think, how you sort of go about making a great character largely.
Yes.
Like,
No, I would agree with that.
having a well-developed background never hurts. And for some players, that actually is really important.
Yeah. Generally, background will develop the more I think about the character. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I have a couple weeks between making the character and actually playing, I'll usually come up with a background. But it's not uncommon for me to go in with only the barest of backgrounds until like 3 or 4 sessions in, and then develop one. Like that's it's actually more common than not, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't generally write lengthy backgrounds for the characters I play. I will generally come up with a short maybe a paragraph about them, maybe
Yeah.
at most.
No, it's never more than a paragraph or two for me. At least I don't think it is. You're the one that receives them. Because,
I don't know.
yeah, because the Doctor Arcane probably had the most extensive one. Vorkos's was, I think, maybe a paragraph and a half. It was largely just, okay, why is he a bounty hunter? Okay, that's why he's a bounty hunter. What's his dramatic hook? This is Feng Shui. This is his dramatic hook. How do I work those together? Boom. I want him to be religious. Boom. Done.
Yeah, that's there. It's a great place to start.
Yep.
So yeah, that's sort of my. I think that's sort of. I think that basically covers what Zent was asking about. I think.
Mm.
I hope. I hope this was useful or helpful or entertaining. Uh, but I think that's going to do it for this week. We've been going for about an hour.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, thanks to everybody for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We normally save time at the end of each episode for viewer questions. Didn't have any this week, so we've rolled on. If you do have questions you'd like us to answer in the show, we love answering the viewers' questions about stuff. So if you got them, send them to us. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com, surlygrognards@yahoo.com. Also, or you could post them in the comment section on YouTube. We love getting that stuff. If you've got feedback for us, ways we can make the show better, things we could do better, constructive criticism, etc. We love getting that shit. Please send it to us.
Yes, send that shit. It is useful.
Yeah. Also, if you've got show
Surprisingly
topics,
useful.
Yeah, if you've got show topic suggestions, things you'd like us to spend an episode talking about, we really love those things. Like this week, we loved it. Great, we love it. It's great. It makes doing the show easier for us, and it means we also get to talk about what you guys want to hear about.
More importantly, it means I don't have to come up with an idea.
So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this week. But if you got any of those questions or feedback or anything, let us email us, post them in the comments, etc. We love getting that stuff. We record the show Monday nights at 7 p.m., roughly at 7 p.m. Eastern, usually, on hitbox.tv/mecha-gm. We don't record every week, but we record, most weeks. So, And if you want to keep an eye out for when we're about to go live, I do send a tweet out when I'm about to go live for the recording. My Twitter handle is @MechaGM, so keep an eye on that. You'll know when the show's going to be going live. Other than that, I think that's it for this week.
Yeah, I think we're done.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to do it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Any last thoughts on what makes a great character, Eric?
To make a great character, time to develop them. To get the seeds of a good character, just a few themes and stick to them.
Yep. And, yeah, that's going to do it, though, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.
Bye.